We got a Deload week this week and also a travel week, so be a good opportunity to talk a little bit about how to train when traveling, if you even want to train when traveling, what modifications to make depending on the scenarios, and then if it's even worth it to train depending on what kind of traveling you do, if it's vacation, business, location specifically as well, what other activities you're doing. So there's a lot to consider there. But first, it's a new variation. It's been quite a long time, it's many years since I've done any pin squats, but coach replaced the tempo SSP with some 3-count pause pin squats, and honestly, I kind of like them. It's something new, something different, and it still fits in the same little category of tempo, long pause, technique, positioning work. It's just another way to do it. Not necessarily one is better than the other. There's just slightly different applications, and at some point, it's just looking for something different, and so you just kind of rotate through a couple of different varieties of similar exercises that fit that goal. We had some RDLs this day. They were super easy. I was pretty fucking tired, honestly, but my legs were moving pretty good that day. The shoulders making some small progress still, bit by bit. I kind of decided that benching itself did not feel productive, but since I can continue to push chest press, that's what I'm going to do. So I was able to do more weight on these than the previous time, and that's a plus. Still doing GHRs on this day as well, and they're getting better. Figuring out the positioning more, I'm feeling stronger in them. Figured out that I don't like this really tall pole that I was using. I liked the shorter one that I used last time. So aside from that, though, we're making some progress here as well. So that was Monday, and I traveled on Tuesday. I don't usually train on Tuesday, so that worked. And then here's Wednesday. Since I'm in a city that has a powerlifting gym and I have a car and I'm able to access the powerlifting gym, my training did not change this week. And I'm, on the East Coast visiting a friend, and they train as well. So it wasn't a big deal for us both to go to the gym together before doing whatever else we want to do. That might change depending on who you're visiting and where you're going, access to a gym. If you have to go to a commercial gym instead, then it's not a big deal as well, but at least you can get your lifts in even if you don't bring all of your equipment. Like I said, I knew I was going to be able to go to a real powerlifting gym every day and train like usual. I knew I had a heavy-ish training day, so I ended up packing all of my gear and bringing it all with me because it fit, and then using it, which is useful. It worked out well. But I've also traveled here and brought nothing, or brought only a belt, or little things like that. And it's really easy to work around these things. And even if you don't have access to a gym, maybe you have a hotel gym that has a couple machines, or maybe you just don't want to lift at all and focus on wherever you are, and that's all good. But depending on what it is, essentially just don't freak out about lifting and traveling and how it might affect strength, and just do what you can, little by little. My strength was down a little bit, especially since before Saturday was my last heavy training day of this block, and that was this training session here with this top single and squat. I did about the same single that I would have, but my back off triples were at the weight that I did sevens with last week, and my deadlift back off was also fairly light, but like I said, that's all good. I know that after being in the car for a long time, doing 2 hikes, waking up really early to go train, that my strength is not going to be at 100%, and conveniently enough, it was also a deload, so I didn't need to be 100%. And even if it wasn't a deload, taking small 5-10 kilo hits really aren't a big deal on an individual training session when you know that there are external factors at play. And it's not like being a bitch. It's not, you're not trying hard enough. It's just being realistic about what the circumstances are. Didn't really record any accessories here either. But controller is continuing to make small improvements. I was able to load over 2 plates on the chest press machine. I was able to do some good sets of dumbbell overhead press as well. So more small progress there. Might be back under a barbell consistently soon.